Going for a job interview is stressful enough, but what happens when the interviewer throws you a curveball with a question that feels, well, a little too personal? You might feel pressured to answer, thinking it'll affect your chances of getting the job, but here's the thing, some questions are actually illegal for employers to ask. Knowing your rights can protect you from discrimination and help you navigate these tricky situations with confidence. Today, we are breaking down 5 simple questions that employers are not allowed to ask you in a job interview, and more importantly, what to do if they do. First up, let's talk about your age. An employer cannot ask, "How old are you?" or "What year were you born?" Why? Because the Age Discrimination in Employment Act protects applicants and employees who are 40 years of age or older from discrimination based on age. While they might try to get this information indirectly by asking something like, "When did you graduate from high school?" it's still walking a very fine line. The core issue is that your age has no bearing on your ability to do the job. If you're asked this, you don't have to give a direct answer. A great way to respond is by redirecting the conversation back to your qualifications. You could say something like, "I'm not comfortable sharing my exact age, but I can assure you that my experience and skills, like my 5 years leading a successful marketing team, make me a perfect fit for this role." This shows you're professional and confident, and it steers the conversation back to what really matters, your professional capabilities. Next on our list are questions about your race, ethnicity, or national origin. Questions like, "What's your background?" or "Where are your parents from?" are big red flags. Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act makes it illegal to discriminate against someone based on these characteristics. Your heritage has absolutely nothing to do with your ability to perform a job. An employer's curiosity isn't a valid reason to ask. If you face this question, you can politely decline to answer. A good response might be, "I'm not sure how my background is relevant to this position, but I'd be happy to talk more about my experience with project management software." Again, you're redirecting and keeping the focus on your qualifications for the job. It's about setting a boundary respectfully while still showing you're the right candidate. The third illegal question category revolves around your marital status and family plans. An employer can't ask, "Are you married? Do you have children? Or are you planning on starting a family soon?" These questions are often used to make assumptions about your commitment to the job or your availability, which is a form of discrimination based on sex and familial status. Whether you're single, married, have a dozen kids, or plan to have none, it's none of their business. Your personal life shouldn't be a factor in their hiring decision. So, if an interviewer asks about your family, you can pivot. Try saying something like, "I am fully committed to my career and I am confident I can meet all the time and travel requirements of this position. Can we talk more about the day-to-day responsibilities?" This addresses their potential underlying concern about your availability without revealing personal information. Our fourth point is about your health and disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, puts strict limits on what employers can ask about your medical history. They cannot ask questions like, "Do you have any disabilities?" or "Have you ever been hospitalized?" before a job offer is made. They can, however, ask if you're able to perform the essential functions of the job with or without a reasonable accommodation. For example, if the job requires lifting 50-pound boxes, they can ask, "This job requires lifting 50-pound boxes. Can you do that?" That's a legitimate question, but a broad inquiry into your health is off limits. If you're asked an illegal medical question, you can simply say, "I'm confident in my ability to perform all the essential duties of this role effectively." You don't need to disclose any medical information. If you do have a disability and need an accommodation, the time to discuss that is after a job offer has been extended. Finally, we have questions about your religion. An employer can't ask, "What religion do you practice?" or "Will you need any religious holidays off?" This is another area protected under Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. Your religious beliefs should not influence a hiring decision. While employers are required to provide reasonable accommodations for religious practices, like time off for holidays, they can't ask about your religion during the interview process to screen you out. If this topic comes up, you can deflect by focusing on your availability in a general sense. A good response would be, "I'm available to work the required schedule for this position." If any scheduling conflicts were to arise in the future, I would be proactive in discussing them well in advance to find a solution. This shows you're a responsible and considerate employee without having to get into your personal beliefs. So, what's the big takeaway here? When you encounter one of these illegal questions, you have a few options. You can directly refuse to answer, you can answer truthfully if you feel comfortable, or you can use the redirect strategy we've talked about, which is often the smoothest approach. The goal is to set a professional boundary while keeping the interview on a positive track. Remember, these laws exist to protect you and ensure that hiring decisions are based on merit, not on personal biases. Being prepared for these situations will not only help you protect your rights, but also make you a more confident and impressive candidate. Knowledge is power, especially in the interview room. Thanks for watching today. I hope this information empowers you in your next job interview. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more career advice. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been asked an uncomfortable question in an interview and how you handled it. We can all learn from each other's experiences. Good luck with your job search, and I'll see you in the next video.